everybody. Welcome to the Florida Prepaid virtual workshop here as part of the Prego Expo. We will be on site tomorrow at the actual event in Brandon, Florida, but wanted to just come to you today for those who are also attending virtually like I am to introduce you to the brand a little bit and then answer any questions that you might have. So I see that some of us are watching, and so I'm glad Karen says that this is a good time for her and her husband. So a little bit about Florida Prepaid. My name is Shannon Colavecchio, first of all, and I am the spokesperson for Florida Prepaid. We are actually the largest and the longest running prepaid college program in the nation. So I always like to tell people who are Floridians that this is really a hidden gem benefit of living in Florida, because there are not many states that offer these types of programs. And it really is one of the most affordable and secure ways to save for college and to lock in tuition today for tomorrow, right? So essentially what we do is that we offer two different types of 529 plans. One is a 529 savings plan. That is more like your investment type plan where you put in what you want, when you want, and then you kind of are trying to grow that money over time. Then we have our 529 prepaid plans. Those plans are the ones that are really tend to be our most popular, and those are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. So Florida Prepaid plan allows you to lock in the cost of college today for tomorrow. So essentially you lock in a price, you lock in typically a monthly payment schedule. Some people will pay in a lump sum, and then some people will pay like over a 5-year basis, almost like a car payment. And so what that does is you're guaranteed that your payments are never going to go up. It is what you lock it in for. And then our guarantee to you is when it's time for your child to go to college, we are going to cover the tuition and then the fees that are usually part of that tuition bill for no matter what happens to tuition. So if we have underestimated and tuition has actually gone up more than we thought, it doesn't matter to you, right? You are safe and secure and locked in. So that's essentially how you use a prepaid plan. We don't have our pricing yet for 2021, but typically in any given year, if it goes up by like a couple percentage points. So it might be $1 a month, change, give or take, or a few dollars. Certainly not anything that is significant. And last year, just as a reference point, our pricing started at $44 a month for a newborn. And then the highest price plan, the 4-year university plan, is it was about $184 a month, right? So we always tell people we have 5 different types of plans. You've got the 1-year university plan, you've got college-based plans, you've got 4-year university plans. And the great thing is, whenever I go to these expos, a lot of times I hear people say, well, I don't really know if I want to get one of these plans because I have no idea what my child's going to do. I don't know if they're going to go to college. I don't know if they want to go to a 4-year university or a 2-year. I don't even know if they're going to want to go to Florida. The great news is that our plans are built for flexibility. You can carry your plan, your child can carry their plan with them outside the state of Florida. They can carry it with them to a private university. They can carry it with them to a trade school or a technical school. And they even have 10 years after graduating high school to actually use the plan, okay? If at any point the plan is not used or a portion of it isn't used, maybe the child also got a scholarship of some sort and you didn't need all of the tuition coverage that was in that plan for prepaid, well, guess what? You get a refund back, right? And you can always get a full refund of every dollar that you've put in if you've not used it. And so how would this work? So I always tell people, so number one, you do not have to go to a Florida college or university. The tuition rates are based on Florida colleges and universities. But if they don't end up going here, what we would do is we would send to the institution they go to what we would have sent here. So if you have for example, a 4-year university plan, and they end up, instead of going to the University of South Florida, closest to Brandon, I'll use that as an example, and instead they decide to go to the University of Georgia, okay? We would send to the University of Georgia what we would have sent to USF. Right? Now, if they're not an in-state resident, their tuition might be higher. So there may be a gap between what you saved with prepaid and what their tuition bill is. But the point is, you've never lost any value in your prepaid plan, and you're applying the full value of that plan wherever you go. So that's probably the biggest misconception is that, oh, I have to stay in Florida. You really don't. And even if you say you start saving with a Florida prepaid plan and then you as a family move outside the state, well, you don't lose your plan. You don't lose the benefits of saving for the plan. You can continue to pay into the plan. And then again, when it's time for them to use it, we would send wherever they go what we would have sent to the Florida institutions. The other nice thing is if you say are here now and then in 5 years you move to Kentucky, I'll use this as an example. Your child is moving with you, presumably. I hope so. And then when it's time for them to go to college, the nice thing is, obviously, they would qualify for in-state tuition in Kentucky, right? But because they have a prepaid plan, just having a prepaid plan means they also qualify for in-state tuition in Florida. So they could come back to Florida, the spring break state of great weather, right? And they could use their plan here, and that tuition again would be fully covered because you'd have the guarantee of the prepaid plan. So that's essentially, how it works in a nutshell. Works great alongside scholarships. We get a lot of students who have prepaid plans, and then they also end up getting a Bright Futures scholarship, right? So which covers anywhere from, I believe, 50 to 100% of tuition. Well, when that happens, typically the the Bright Futures plan would be paid out first, and then the prepaid plan, you would get a refund check every semester as the beneficiaries, the person paying in for the child, and then they could use that for books or housing or whatever other college expenses that they had. This is exclusive to the state of Florida. So if you're watching and are not a Florida resident, it is exclusive to that. So it's another reason to move to Florida. No kidding. But yeah, it is typically, and that's usually with the prepaid plans. They usually are specific to their state because they're estimating, what the plans cost based on those in-state tuition rates. And there are a few other states that do still have them. I don't know offhand. I know that none are as big as Florida, and none are as long-lasting as Florida. We were one of the first to implement this plan, and we're still really so strong. We've sent over over 1 million students, 1 million families have bought plans for Florida Prepaid, which is pretty amazing. And we've sent over 460,000 students to college already in the past 30 years, which is just an amazing legacy. We're also at the point where we've been around so long that we have like second generations, right? So people that went to college on a prepaid plan, now they've graduated, they're working, they're starting their families, and now they're buying a prepaid plan for their child because they love that it allowed them to avoid debt. And, our message to families is if you go to myfloridaprepaid.com, there's a pricing calculator. The website again is myfloridaprepaid.com. The pricing calculator will allow you to put in your child's birth date, right? And then it will spit out like a chart for you. And it will tell you for each of the 5 plans, based on the child's age, exactly how much the plans would cost you per month, right? And the reason you put in the age is because the younger they are, the longer you have to save, the lower your monthly payments will be. That is why we love talking to new moms and dads, expectant families, because even though college seems forever away, when it comes to college savings, you really have to take the long view and realize that the earlier you start, the less stressful it is, the lower that you need to, the less amount that you need to save every month to make sure that you're covered. And so even though it seems like, wow, why are we talking about college now? I'm still in diapers, right? Well, it really does what it's true. The days are long and the years are short. That is absolutely the case. And so, look at those prices and say, okay, well, I can't afford the 4-year university, but I can't afford the 2-year college. So maybe that covers their AA degree, right? We always tell people, save what you can, right? Save for what you can, because research shows that even if a family doesn't have all of the college saved for, even just having a small portion of their college saved for, it does a couple things. It makes them more likely to attend college. It also makes them more likely to graduate. And I really think it's because you're setting the expectation for that child from the beginning that we support you. We are proud of you academically, and we expect you to go to college, right? And as it's human nature to live up to our expectations, right? We want to meet that bar. And so when you do that, you really are setting that bar, and any amount that you're saving for them is that much that they don't have to take out a loan for, right? And really that's what we're trying to avoid is another generation of college students who are coming out just saddled with debt that really prevents them from enjoying the fruits of their success, right? Because it's like, well, they've graduated college, they have a great degree, maybe they even have a great job, but they're still paying debt every month for their college loans. So I'm going to look here. I'm looking for questions. Let's see. I know a lot of you are asking if this is in other states. And Debbie is asking, does your child have to be accepted to a specific school? No, absolutely not. You do not. Now in Florida, so state college, the 28 state colleges, admission there is like guaranteed, right? And the thing is, once you do the 2-year college, you are guaranteed admission for the next 2 years into one of the state universities. We have 12 state universities. So if you had let's say we have a 2+2 plan, which is 2 years at college, 2 years at a university. We also have a 4-year college plan, which is a great affordable option because a lot of these state colleges are offering degrees. I mean, they're all offering 4-year degrees in very high demand fields, right? And if you had a 4-year college and then they end up going to a university, well, guess what? They can still apply the value of the plan to the university. It just is not going to cover everything. But again, maybe they have another scholarship, and so it all ends up evening out. And yeah, we love having the 5 different options. Let's see. Yes, definitely love having options. And Denise is asking, does the plan stop at 4 years or can you put it towards grad school? So here's what happens. I've seen this many cases. The prepaid plans do not cover grad school tuition, okay? But it is possible to have both types of plans, the prepaid plan and the Florida 529 savings plan. So we have seen families do this where they can. They lock in the tuition with the prepaid plan, and then they set up a 529 savings plan, and they put in whatever extra they can each month, okay? And they are setting an investment strategy. Typically, you choose an age-based strategy, so it's just kind of set it and forget it. And it's more aggressive when they're younger, and the closer they get to college age when they need it, it becomes very conservative so that you're just maintaining the growth in the funds that you've acquired over those previous years, okay? So let's do a scenario where they do their 4-year and then you have the 529 savings plan, which can cover grad school tuition. A 529 savings plan also can cover other, unlike a prepaid plan. A prepaid plan is only tuition and fees. The 529 savings plan can cover tuition and fees for not only college, but also grad school and even K through 12. Okay, that's a way that you can use it. But speaking to college, it also can cover books, housing, laptops, all the things that they need for college that frankly are pretty expensive, right? Those can be just as expensive as tuition. So a 529 plan is great for that. So maybe you had a scenario where you, have saved, they end up getting a full ride scholarship. You could take that prepaid plan, you could get the refund of that, and you could put it all into a 529 savings plan, right? That would be one strategy. And then you grow it over the period of time that they're in college, but they're pulling from that to cover the other expenses and to cover things like grad school. We see that a lot. We also see, nowadays these kids are coming out of college and are going into college and they're just so smart. I mean, you'll see kids that are coming out of high school and they took, IB classes and dual enrollment. So maybe they go into their freshman year of college and they've got like 30 credit hours, okay? But if they have a 4-year university plan, that means that's 30 credit hours of their plan that they're not going to need, which they could use for grad school. And then on top of that, if they got a Bright Future scholarship, I mean, you're literally talking about a huge chunk of money that you would have left over unused. And again, it's a full refund to you, and then you can always apply that to grad school. Let's see. I'm looking. Yeah. And Maisa is saying, I hope I'm saying that right. The refund is amazing. It's almost risk-free. I mean, here's the deal. It is risk-free because it's guaranteed by the state of Florida. So again, if we have not properly estimated tuition and it's more than what we thought, you don't have to worry about it because we are guaranteeing that we're covering it and the state of Florida guarantees it. If you end up not using it, you can get a full refund of every single dollar that you put in. It's also tax deductible. So this money that you're saving, you're not being taxed on, right? Whereas if you just set up like a savings account in a bank, you're being taxed on that. So, can you save for college that way? You can, but it doesn't have the tax benefits of a prepaid plan. It's, again, and even if you don't use part of it, you could, get a refund. You can also transfer a plan to another child. Okay. So maybe it's like you saved for the first child and then you had the second child and you're like, we just really can't afford this. If the first child doesn't use part or all of it, you can transfer that to another child. So that's another great benefit. Let's see. Yeah. So flexible. The thing that I find when I go to these is that, that, you know, the flexibility is what people don't know. And I'm going to type in here, we have a code for you guys. It's family 2021. If you use that code when you go in, you can start today and sign up for a prepaid plan. Then it will take $25 off of the enrollment fee. So, okay, we're live. This is real life. I have 2 human sons, but this is my first other one, and he's a little needy today. So he's like, wants to be in my lap. So the open enrollment window is technically February 1 through April 30th. Okay. If you sign up today, now the child has to be born. So you know, the child has to be born. They don't have to have a social security number yet, but they do have to be born. You have to have an actual birth date for them. If you sign up really anytime starting now, what would happen is it puts your application in the hopper. And then as soon as the open enrollment window officially opens February 1, it activates your sign up, and then your first payment is not due until April when we end the open enrollment window. So Donna is saying, I really want to get a prepaid plan for my son. He's 2.5 now. Yeah, Donna. So the window that is the most affordable for saving is age 0 to 4. And this is simply because it gives you anywhere from 14 to 18 years, right, to save every month toward college. And, you know, when you look at some of our plans, I mean, the prices are like, you know, $44 a month, you know, $57 a month, $140 a month. When you break it down, I mean, even if the $44 a month, that's a newborn plan. That was last year for a 1-year university plan. Covers the first year of a university, so 30 credit hours. The cool thing about that plan is you can stack it. So if the child's born and you're like, for now, we can just afford the $44 a month because I'm paying for diapers and daycare and whatever else. And then a couple years later, you're like, oh, they're out of diapers now. Okay, we're going to stack on another 1-year university, right? And then you can keep doing that until all 4 years are covered. The other thing about the 1-year university is that multiple family members can each buy a year toward the same child. This is a great thing for grandparents to give, right? I always say, I'm like, the Legos will trip you up in the middle of the night. The remote control cars, the batteries will break. A prepaid plan is the best gift, and it does not break. And it is literally the gift of a lifetime. So that's a really cool way for even grandparents to get involved. But 0 to 4, Donna, is still super affordable. If you go into that myfloridaprepaid.com pricing calculator, you will see that it still is really, really great rates. Let's see. I'm looking. I have some people saying we are coming to Florida. Sandra's asking, do you have a plan for kids that are older and would like to start now? So I encourage you, again, not sure what ages you're talking about, Sandra, but go. We don't have like a family plan that covers all of the kids, but if you already have children and then you're pregnant with the twins, here's what you do. Go into that pricing calculator at myfloridaprepaid.com, put in their ages and see what it would be. Okay. Depending on their age, maybe you're like, you know what, we cannot do the 4-year university plan for all these children, but we could do a 2-year college for them or a 1-year university. Again, saving something is better than nothing. The other thing is that if they are getting older, you might want to think about a 529 savings plan, because again, that one, you're not locked into a certain amount each month, but you can set up like an auto deduction where you're like, all right, I'm going to set aside $25 every month. No matter what happens, I'm going to budget for it. I'm going to make sure it happens. And then over time, you're growing it. So even if they're like, 8, 9, 10, at least you'd be surprised over the course of like 8 to 10 years, how that money can start to add up when you're saving it every month and it's being invested. So look into both of those options. They're all on the website. And it's pretty well laid out how the differences and how they work. And Janice saying Michigan has a program. Awesome. Keela, how late can I enroll the baby into this? So here's the deal. You can start today if you already have the baby, and if the baby isn't born yet, the day they're born, you can enroll. The actual prices that you're going to be locking into will be from the window of February 1 through April 30th. And again, we haven't announced the pricing yet. Typically that happens around January, but I will tell you that last year we actually rolled back our prices to the lowest point in 5 years because we were able to do that because the tuition in Florida is staying very stable, which is great news for everyone. And so again, they started at $44 a month, and then the highest price plan was $183 a month. We don't have the pricing yet for this month, but in all my years of working with Florida Prepaid, if it does go up, it typically matches like the price of inflation. So you're talking 2 to 3%. So if you're looking at a monthly basis, like maybe it goes from $44 a month to like 46 or 47. That would be like kind of a scenario to look for, but they're still super affordable, and it's a great way to start saving. Sheila signed up for the toddler in May after we presented the expo, and oh my gosh, so I probably saw you at the expo. That is fantastic. And now you're signing up your baby girl. That is awesome. I love it. Let's see. I'm looking through your questions, guys. Okay, Erin is a full-time mom due December 14th. That is so soon. Okay, so that's perfect. Merry Christmas to you. You get a baby, and then you can get a prepaid plan, or you can ask parents, your partner's parents, to get them a 1-year university plan, right? Like I always say, like if 4 different relatives are paying, then you're covering 4 years of university, and each person's paying $44 a month, or, anywhere, I would say under $50 a month, right? That's safe. And, $50 a month, I'm like, half the world spends that at Starbucks or, going to the movies. So that sounds awesome. Okay. My dogs are going to do zoomies in the background, of course. Let's see. What if they don't go to college? Can I pull the money out? Yes. So Sandra, if they do not go to college and you have spent all those years saving, I always tell the parents, I'm like, you get to go on vacation, but seriously, you can get a full refund. You could use it for your own continuing education. It is absolutely fully refundable what you don't use. Michelle's asking, is this only for Florida residents? Yes. So Karen's asking, is Florida Prepaid a nonprofit? We're not a nonprofit, but we're a state agency. Yeah. So the legislature created this program in 1987. They wanted to, the vision was, hey, we want to keep talent here. We want to promote, the value of post-secondary education, but we need to find a way to make this affordable for families, because, you think about if you wait until they're 17 and you haven't saved anything, and then you're looking at the bill and you're like, what, $30,000? I mean, that's a lot of money to be looking at in the immediate future. So the idea here was, okay, let's set up this prepaid program where they're just doing a little bit at a time leading up to, to the age 18 or, high school graduation. So it was a great vision, and it has maintained itself. And, we have a board, and then we have an investment like advisors, and they help to make sure that we are making the best investments, that we are handling the money well, and that everything is safe and again guaranteed. So and Karen, yes, you have to wait for the baby to be born for a prepaid plan. Now, fun fact, you do not have to wait for the baby to be born for a Florida 529 savings plan. That's the investment-based plan where I said you just put in what you can when you can. You choose an investment strategy, you kind of set it and forget it. You could do that at any time. The baby does not have to be born. Ophelia, I hope I'm saying that right. Can you sign up your toddler? Absolutely, you can. Go to myfloridaprepaid.com, put in the pricing, there's a pricing calculator, and put in their birth date, and it will tell you exactly how much each plan would be per month. Yep. Alexandria, it's amazing because it adds up, and before you know it, you've got it covered. I mean, that's the thing. It really, I have talked to so many families, and they said they'll come, like, I've been to like the Prego Expo, and it's so cool because it'll be like a grandma, like the grandma will be there with her daughter who's about to have the baby, right? And, the grandma will have saved for the daughter or the son. Okay. And so that she's like, I signed up for this plan back in the day. There were some times when it was inconvenient. I wish I didn't have to pay that money per month, right? I would have liked to have spent it on something else. She's like, but when they were ready to go to college and I didn't have to worry about the tuition bill, they said, it was absolutely the best decision I ever made. So you really you cannot go wrong. Karen saying, how much is tax deductible? The whole thing is tax deductible. It is fully tax deductible, refundable, guaranteed by the state of Florida. It is so, like I'm telling you, people like that are not in other states that don't have this, I don't know what they're doing, because it's like, it would make it more stressful. This makes it much less stressful. Don is asking, what's the difference between a college plan and a university plan? So the college plan rates that you're paying are based on college tuition here in Florida. And then the university plan is based on university tuition. So what the Florida college plan would cover would be, if you get the 4-year college, it would cover 120 credit hours at a Florida college. The 4-year university plan would cover 120 hours at a university. So they're going to be a different price because college tuition in Florida is much less than university tuition. So that is essentially the difference. But again, if you had the 4-year college plan and they end up going to a university, you can still apply the value of your plan to the university. We will send it to, UF or FSU or wherever they end up going. But there would probably be a gap between what your plan covers and what the tuition actually is in terms of the bill. Again, unless they have a scholarship, in which case it might all even out. Fernandina, the link I'm putting in the chat is myfloridaprepaid.com. And again, if you set up your plan and use the promo code family 2021 at checkout, it will save you $25 off enrollment. Little gifts from Florida Prepaid. Let's see, off open enrollment. Yep. Emily's asking, can you stack to your college plans? You can have, yes, I believe you can. You can have two of the 2-year college. Like if you wanted to do the 2-year college now and then later, like basically add on, I think you can do that. What if your child does not go to college or trade school? Can they get the money back? Absolutely, Adrian. You can get a full refund always. Yep. Melissa Thierfelder is going to move to Florida. I do not blame you. Let's see. What if my baby is born in May after the enrollment period? So Emily, you can still, just like you can now, you can still sign up for the plan. And essentially, we would simply activate your plan the following February. Okay. So you essentially be in the hopper, but you can still absolutely apply. Sandra, can I add a plan to a baby registry? So no, not yet. But we are working on a gifting system that would allow that to happen. And we do on our website, like if you set up a either of these plans, once you have the plan set up, like a Florida 529 or Florida Prepaid, we do have like gift certificates that you can like hint, send the link to family members, and then they can contribute toward the plan. So, I mean, again, better than Legos and remote control cars is money toward their college, right? Great info. Let's see. Victoria's asking what happens if I end up moving out of Florida? So I said this earlier, but I know some people logged on a little later. So here's the deal. If you move out of Florida, you can still continue to pay into your plan just like you were. When it's time for them to go to college or university, we'll send their plan value wherever they end up going. The benefit of having a Florida prepaid plan and then moving out of state is that they now would qualify for in-state tuition wherever you're actually living. But by virtue of having a prepaid plan, they can also come back to Florida and get in-state tuition rates here. So I think our time is up. So I'm going to go over to the prepaid booth, and you can come over there and ask me any questions that you have. So it's so good to talk to you guys. I love your excitement. I wish that we were there in person. But Frankie, our spokesperson, will be there tomorrow in Brandon and can answer any questions at all. I hope you all are having a great expo, and I hope you have a great day. I'm going to head over to the booth. I'll see y'all soon.